ourselves what UN stands for. I'm president of the UN Association of Malaysia. I've been president for a year now. I'm entering my second year. This association, ONAM, is to support the UN and its development. It is to foster interest among people of Malaysia in the work of the UN and all its specialized agencies. Take also UNCTAD, WHO, WTO. My job is to promote the ideals which our forefathers decided in June 1945 when UN was formed. In this connection, I think it's useful for me to share with you, to remind ourselves of the UN Charter. It is roughly like this, as follows. We, the people of the United Nations, are determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. Secondly, to reaffirm our faith in fundamental human rights, dignity of the human being. Number three, respect for treaties and international law. Number four, to promote international peace and development. Those are four key principles, and in terms of detail, the UN is to promote, to practice tolerance, for people to live together in peace, to maintain international peace and security, to prevent the use of force at all costs, and to promote economic and social advancement of all peoples throughout the world. This is inclusive development. You were here to promote the ideas of the UN, and it is reminded of what UN stands for. Unfortunately, many of these things have been thrown out of the window. In recent months, in recent weeks, I'll be remiss if I do not highlight what's happening in Gaza, the genocide, the suffering, the starvation. The UN a few days ago declared Gaza having suffered almost 2 years now. There's famine in Gaza now. Malaysia and many countries have been committed to provide aid and assistance, medical care, but this has not been happening because Israel has been preventing Gaza, people in Gaza who require this aid from entering that territory. This is where we are. So where are we in terms of promoting the ideals of peace, prosperity, and development? Where are we when it comes to promotion of human rights? Where are we when it comes to respecting international laws, the human being? As President of the UN, I've been working closely with young people of Malaysia. A month ago, I had the pleasure of officiating the 10th anniversary of Model UN at Sunway University. I was very impressed with the young boys and girls. A guy called Alexis Woon, another from Miss Wong, the Secretary and Deputy Secretary of Sunway Model UN, very articulate, very knowledgeable. Yeah. They have all the hard skills, soft skills. This is what MAN stands for. Model UN in Malaysia has been quite active, and it provides a valuable platform for young minds to develop and hone essential soft skills in diplomacy, negotiations, public speaking, leadership, teamwork, and research. I saw all these things in the young people in conjunction with the celebration of 10th anniversary of MAN, Sunway University. And I'm sure that all of you possess all these qualities as well to prepare yourselves for a future which is full of challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm representing my committee members and members of UNAM Malaysia. I would like to applaud you for your support to the principles of the UN. I would like you, young men and women coming from 45 countries, to continue fighting for human dignity, for peace, stability, to eliminate poverty, to promote development, to promote inclusive development. These are the ideas that the UN stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, what is diplomacy? Diplomacy is about negotiating, about talking to each other, having dialogues, perhaps achieving compromises, achieving a win-win solution to problems we're facing. That's what diplomacy is all about. Diplomacy has been practiced for many years. America, as we all know, the biggest economic, political, and military power in the world now, has been championing diplomacy, the UN, the ideals of many international organizations since the establishment of the UN in the year 1945. In recent months, however, we've seen this country applying the brakes, this country going against the very grain of setting up of the UN. Tariffs, for example, which have been imposed on many countries in the world. This is a manifestation of unilateralism. UN promotes multilateralism. What is multilateralism? Multilateralism is about talking to each other. There are 193 countries which belong to the UN. It's about talking to each other. It's about discussing, negotiating, and coming up with solutions which will promote international peace and development. What has happened in the last few weeks, few months, is the contouring. The biggest, the most powerful nation on earth is going backwards from our point of view, promoting unilateralism, applying bullying tactics, big bullies, suppressing countries, the weak countries, the stronger countries, a very strong country is applying all kinds of pressure, not only on small countries, but also on big countries as well. This is where we are. What we need is more diplomacy. What we need is more negotiation. What we need is dialogue. What we need is discussion to come to mutually beneficial solutions to the problems we face. We are interdependent. We've been promoting trade through UNCTAD, WTO, and other organizations. We have been promoting development with World Bank, Asian Development, and many other institutions. All these things have happened because of close collaboration between countries. Climate change, the climate crisis, the planet is under threat. There's climate crisis in the world. Some people are saying there's climate emergency now. This requires discussion among all countries. It doesn't help if the biggest country in the world withdraws from the Paris Agreement. It doesn't help if the biggest country in the world withdraws funding for some of the organizations which are helping the poor, those who are starving, those who have been displaced by conflict in many parts of the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appeal to you, number one, to be fully committed to promote the ideas of the UN, which is dialogue, discussion, compromises, negotiation, which is to promote international peace and security, which is to respect human rights, which is to be fair, which is to promote inclusive development. You are the young people coming from 45 countries. You are the leaders of tomorrow. And if you young boys and girls, men and women, embrace the ideas of the UN, we have a better future in front of us. The world is going through many challenges. Gaza is one, Ukraine is another. There's rivalry between the big powers and the smaller powers, the smaller countries. Some of them are suffering, some of them are grappling with many problems, disease, starvation, and famine. It is our responsibility of every human being to make sure that everyone in the world survives, everyone in the world does well, to ensure that there's inclusive development, there's peace and prosperity. In this part of the world, where we are in Malaysia, we are fully committed to multilateralism. Malaysia is very supportive of the UN system. ASEAN is a manifestation of how close collaboration between us, our diplomacy has promoted development in this part of the world. We've done very well in terms of promoting economic interdependence, trade investments among ourselves. ASEAN is a manifestation, it's a very outstanding manifestation of how close collaboration and partnership and diplomacy have been instrumental in uplifting the living standards of people in ASEAN. There are many other parts of the world which are doing well. Unfortunately, many others are not doing as well. The SDGs were agreed by 193 countries in 2015 at the UN. Now, sad to say, there are analyses which indicate that we are off track in achieving SDGs. Only 20%, indeed less than 20% of the goals are likely to be achieved by the year 2030. This is Agenda 2030, which was approved by 193 countries of the UN. They reaffirmed these SDGs in September of last year, recommitted themselves, rededicated themselves, and committed themselves to do more to achieve the SDGs. But looking at current progress, very sad to say that we are far off, we are off track on many of these goals. This is another manifestation of the world going backwards. So you have unilateralism, you have tension, you have conflicts, starvation, you have famine, you have goals which have been decided 10 years ago, which are not likely to be achieved in the year 2030. These are some of the challenges we're facing, and the responsibility is on you, young men and women, to work together. Those of you coming from not only 45 countries, but 190 countries around the world, we need to work together, we need to have dialogue, we need to promote diplomacy to achieve a more prosperous, peaceful world, a world which recognizes the dignity of human beings, a world which assumes this responsibility of promoting the welfare of all human beings, a world which treats human beings with dignity, not a world which treats some human beings worse than animals. This is the case that's happening in Gaza and many other parts of the world. These are the challenges we're facing. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to be on stage and share some thoughts. As President of the UN in Malaysia, I'm fully committed with my team, committee members and members of UNAP Malaysia, committed to further goals of the UN so that we can leave a better future for our children and grandchildren. On that note, terima kasih. Have a good conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Yang Bahagia, Dr. Sri. And we kindly ask you to remain on stage for our next agenda. And moving on, we would like to invite the CEO of Platform Malaysia, Mr. Ridwan Zain, to the stage to present the token of appreciation to Yang Bahagia, Dr. Sri Mustafa Muhammad. Let's have a photo session. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to Yang Bahagia, Dr. Sri Mustafa Muhammad. Alright, thank you so much once again to Yang Bahagia, Datuk Sri Mustafa, and Mr. Ridwan. You may now return back to your seats. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So, how are we feeling so far? Are we good? Yes, okay. So just now, when we were cheering one by one throughout the councils, right? I think some of us might not know what this UNTAC stands for. It's actually So, can I reclaim the energy from this council once again? Can I hear some noise from the UNTAC Council? Okay, alright. So it's better than just now, right, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so thank you so much for the cheers just now. And ladies and gentlemen, let's take a short pause in our agenda to enjoy another captivating performance. But this time around, it is from our very own delegate. And this time, we are delighted to bring you a glimpse into the rich traditions and heritage from the Lebanon. Please join me in giving him a big round of applause as they take the stage. Please welcome.
from Lebanon to Malaysia. My journey is more than a distance. It is carrying the voice of my country across continents. I am here not just to represent Lebanon, but to let you feel its worth, its pride, its heartbeat through every word I speak tonight. My name is Said Joseph Noh. And before you in Malaysia, not only as a delegate to this conference, but as a young Lebanese diplomat in spirit. I may be young, but my country has taught me things no textbook could teach. How to welcome a stranger with ahla wa sahla before asking their name. How to start a morning with sabah al-khair and a smile even when life is not perfect. How to celebrate together in that day and cry together when times are hard. We are a land where the sea lies close to the mountains, where history lives not only in museums, but in the way we speak, in the way we love, in the way we say Habibi and mean it with our whole heart. In Lebanon, food is not just food. It's the manouche za'atar that smells like home. It's coffee that is never rushed. And tea served not because you are thirsty, but because you are welcome. In Lebanon, music is not just music. It's the sound of Fairuz floating through the morning air. It's the beat of the day calling you to dance, even if you don't know the steps. In my country, pride is not in money. It's in the neighbor who helps you carry your groceries, and in the child who raises the Lebanese flag on Independence Day. And most importantly, in the people who never forget where they came from, no matter where life takes them. And when I stand here, thousands of kilometers away, I am because Lebanon is here. In the way I speak, in the way I carry myself, in the way my eyes light up when someone says, Ya Lebanon. So, from the heart of a young Lebanese delegate, I offer this poem not only to the people present in this room, but to my country. Qalbi Ruhi Ya Lebanon. From the mountains high to the sea so wide, Ya Lebanon, in my heart, you will always reside. In every souk, the voices blend and rhyme like Yalla, Habibi, perfect vibe. The air scented with fresh za'atar bread, the manouche walk where our stories are spread. From Biblo stones to Beirut streets, every heartbeat there in rhythm it beats. Your cedar stands are the rock so proud, guarding the land, speaking without sound. Your dawn begins with ahla wa sahla calls and sabah al-khair echoing through your words. The sea sings softly, Ya hello, Ya tayyib, waves like poems the shore will inscribe. The mountains reply with a golden hue as Allahu Akbar rings pure and true. Under your sun we dance deftly in lines, hands held tight, our spirits align. Laughter flows like strong araq, memories glowing, no shadow, no lie. Ya Lebanon, your name is a prayer I say, and تصبح al-khair by night and sabah al-khair by day. Every alley holds a story to tell, every corner whispers, أنا بحبك so well. Though distance may keep my feet away, my soul in your sky will forever stay. For no map could hold what you truly are. You're the noor in my night, my brightest star. And finally, when I speak to the world, loud and clear, let them know, أنت العمر, always near. And my final words for all to see, Lebanon, my country, أنت دايما بقلبي. From Kuala Lumpur to Beirut, from this stage to the world, these words are my promise that Lebanon, my country, lives in everything I do. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big hand to our delegates from Lebanon! Alright, once again, thank you so much for your words. It's really inspiring. You know, the bridge that it has between Kuala Lumpur and also Beirut and how it connects it to all the countries all over the globe. Alright? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to move on with our ceremony this evening, and we would like to welcome a distinguished guest who represents a nation rich in culture, unity, and a strong commitment to international cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to His Excellency Markham Mumba, the High Commissioner of Zambia to Malaysia, who will now share his thoughts and perspectives with us. Your Excellency, it is really an honor to have you here, and the stage is yours.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Before I start my speech, I'd like to recognize the presence of YP Group, Professor Linda, Director of Higher Education Department in the Ministry of Higher Education. I also like to recognize the presence of YP Capital, Siri Mustafa bin Mohammed, the President of the United Nations Association Malaysia. I'd like also to recognize the presence of Taimaka, Harriet Tamaka, the consultant of the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. I'd also like to recognize the presence of the President of the International Global Network, my friend, Muhammad Fariza, who is the brainchild of our meeting today. I also want to recognize the CEO of IGN, the Arabian Zain. Also like to recognize the presence of Brian Suliwe, the Secretary General. I also like to, above all, I'd like to recognize the presence of all the delegates from all the 45 countries who are here. I think we owe ourselves a round of applause for coming and gathering today in this manner. I am very happy to be here, to be part of this important occasion today, in that you there find young people gathered in such a manner for such a good purpose. It's a rare occasion. Above all, the great representation that you have. As introduced, I'm the High Commissioner to Malaysia from Zambia. I represent, I cover 7 countries here. I'm an ambassador to Thailand. I'm an ambassador to Laos. I'm an ambassador to Vietnam. I'm an ambassador to Brunei. I'm an designated ambassador to Indonesia. This job has given me a very unique experience that I want to share with you. My job today, tonight, is to inspire you as young people to look at yourselves and know that there's nothing that you can't achieve if you put your mind to it. The world is crying for integrity, for young people who are not polluted, for young people who are courageous, for young people who can bring bridges together. Your meeting, the next 2 days, you're going to go through all these issues, simulating what was in the UN. The world of diplomacy, is a very interesting one, in that it deals with the finer details of human nature, the day-to-day issues that we face, the hunger, the poverty, the loneliness, all these issues. There are wars, the world is not resting, there is war in Ukraine and Russia, that mentioned Palestine. Everywhere you look, there is conflict. And it's this presence of conflict in daily life, starting in our homes, that's what attracts and requires the issues of diplomacy. It's not just a word, it's very practical in our daily lives. And it's very important that you people who are young, as the future, pay attention to these issues that are very critical. The UN is in a challenge as we speak. The appeal to you is not only to breathe it. Is to look at other human beings who are not like you, so that you have an understanding. As they say, it's not to raise a voice, but instead it's to raise your argument. Is to persuade the other person to have a look, to see what your point of view is, and to continue. In this journey, therefore, it calls for a lot of tolerance, it calls for a lot of understanding. When you are listening, it's listening with a view to understand, not when you are listening and you are rehearsing a reply. In that way, you don't assimilate what the other person is saying. It calls for magnanimity. It calls for looking at issues in a broader sense and not having a parochial view. Also, it calls for learning. It's important that we gather today in this manner, in that you will hear stories from your colleagues, from your friends that are different, the experiences that are different from what you've known. It's incumbent upon you, upon everyone else, to see things from the other perspective. It's a very different thing in that we all have stereotypes. We all have ways, the way we've been brought up, and we think different. But the idea is to up the skill and be able to know that not everybody can think the same way like you think. What does that call for? It calls for courage to be different. Courage to look at the world from a very objective point of view. Objectivity is a rare commodity now, just like integrity. The world is crying out for people of integrity. And it's very important that these values are inculcated in you who are young. I see that there are some of you who are in a very tender, formative stage. I've seen very young ladies. The more we talk to them, the more we train, the more we prepare the world. If you as young people lose your way, there is nothing that you are going to do. It's a world being prepared for disaster. Hence the need to pay attention. And I commend, as the President discussed here, is the world of ideas. You can imagine that this whole gathering here was born out of an idea of one person who thought it could be done. And here we are today, sharing all these issues that we can take forward. So I call upon you not only to be courageous, I call upon you to be bold and know, embrace diversity, which is the differences in opinion, in character, in thinking. We will limit the issues that we are not seeing each other properly. Let's look for solutions as opposed to looking for offenses. Let's look for ways in which we can grow together. As young people, you are the future leaders. Good governance is lacking at the global stage unless the issues of selfishness are encroaching everywhere, as we can see. And diplomacy is crying out. There is nothing that will not touch on it. So my job today is not to bore you with a long speech, but to encourage you to look forward, to be independent, to be thoughtful, to be courageous, to be bold, and hold values that promote mankind. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency Morcom Bomba. I would like to ask you to kindly remain on stage. And to show our appreciation, we would like to invite the President of IGN, Mr. Farizal, to the stage to present the token of appreciation on behalf of all of us at Ayimun. Please welcome Mr. Farizal. Let's have a photo session. All right. Thank you, Your Excellency Marco Momba and Mr. Farizal. You may now return back to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to His Excellency Marco Momba. All right, everyone. As we carry on with this evening's program, let us take a moment to celebrate the beauty of cultural diversity that our delegates bring to the stage. And up next, we are truly honored to witness a cultural performance that embodies the spirit, creativity, and timeless traditions of our delegates. It is a performance that reminds us how culture has power to unite, to inspire, and to connect us beyond borders. And please join me in giving a warm and heartfelt round of applause to our amazing delegations from India. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big round of applause from the delegations of India! Thank you so much once again. Let's give them some time. Alright. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful performance from our delegates just now. And we can now move forward with our next agenda. And we are honored to welcome a remarkable leader whose dedication to advancing education has shaped and inspired countries and countless futures in Malaysia and beyond. Alright? So, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Director General of Higher Education, Department of Higher Education from the Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia, yang berbahagia Dato' Profesor Dr. Azida Binti Azman, who will now share her insights with us. Please welcome.
Terima kasih pengacara majlis. Yang berbahagia Datuk Sri Mustafa bin Muhammad, President of United Nations Association Malaysia, who is also one of the prominent statesmen in Malaysia. Let's give a big hand to Yang Hadir Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad. His Excellency Morka Mumba, High Commissioner of Zambia to Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Fahrizal, President of International Global Network, Mr. Redzwan Zain, CEO of IGN Red Cross Malaysia, Mr. Ryan Suarez, Secretary General of Ayimun, Board of Directors of Ayimun, proud parents, teachers, and student leaders. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, and a very good evening to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, esteemed guests, and most importantly, our future leaders gathered here today, it is my privilege to welcome you to the 18th Asia Youth International Model United Nations, Ayimun. Today, we are joined by 800 remarkable young leaders from 45 countries. I am made to understand that 3% are from our local universities, 10% from Malaysia's private institutions and schools, and in impressively 87% from abroad. So what a beautiful global family we have here this evening in this room. And welcome everyone to the 18th Asian Youth International Model United Nations Ayimun. Let's give a big hand to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I see such a diverse group of youth united by purpose, passion, and a shared commitment to shaping a better world. Congratulations for taking the initiative to participate in this meaningful exchange of ideas and networking. Welcome to Ayimun 18th and also welcome to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And congratulations to the organizing committee, coordinators, partners and sponsors for your tremendous efforts in making this global platform possible. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and to the leaders, leadership is not about age, title or nationality. It is about vision, courage, empathy and the ability to act with integrity in complex situations. The ability to grab the opportunities in front of you and take the fullest exposure for your own development relies on your own self. But through Ayimun, we are not just simulating diplomacy, yet we are cultivating global citizens. You are here to debate, listen and negotiate. More importantly, you are here to understand, collaborate and lead with conscience. Now, in line with the themes today, fostering diplomacy, achieving global prosperity, it is my hope that each and every one of you as a leader will come to appreciate diplomacy not just as a tool of foreign policy, but as a mindset, one that values dialogue over division, empathy over ego, and collaboration over conflict. The future belongs to those who can bridge differences, build understanding, and lead with purpose. As young global citizens, you are not just leaders in waiting, you are leaders in the making. Let this forum be a spark of your journey towards becoming agents of peace, equity, and prosperity on the world stage. For the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, we continue to support policies and partnerships that create opportunities for global mobility, interdisciplinary learning, and youth empowerment. We believe education is not just about earning degrees, it is about developing change makers ready to make a difference locally and globally. The Department of Higher Education Malaysia is committed to producing well-rounded entrepreneurial graduates. Higher education institutions must be center of academic excellence, innovation, inclusivity, and international engagement. Now, in line with this vision, one of the primary focus of the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia is towards developing the nation's best talents. We would like to promote a more credible and also responsible young talented leaders, and therefore we would also see that the young talented leaders will be able to continue to contribute for the development of the country. Now, this focuses closely connected to the values and objectives of Ayimun. For example, the development of nation best talents reflects the conference mission to cultivate globally minded youth who can think critically, speak diplomatically, and lead confidently. Ayimun also represents our goal of promoting international collaboration and nurturing a digitally savvy, socially responsible, and globally connected generation, all key priorities under the Ministry of Higher Education's 2025 direction. Now, our universities and higher learning institutions proudly support platforms like Ayimun, which act as a training grounds for young diplomats, policymakers, and future leaders, aligning perfectly with our national agenda. To the future leaders, as we reflect on the role of higher education, allow me to share why Malaysia is truly a destination of choice for those who aspire to pursue their higher education. With its unique blend of cultural diversity, academic excellence, and strategic location at the heart of ASEAN, Malaysia offers students an education that is not only globally recognized but also enriched with real-world opportunities. Our universities are equipped with modern facilities, forward-looking curricula, and strong industry linkages that prepare students for the future of work. At the same time, the cost of studying and living in Malaysia is highly competitive compared to many other destinations, making a world-class education more accessible without compromising on quality. Just to share, most importantly, Malaysia is proud to have institutions that are recognized among the best in the world. According to QS World University Rankings 2025, 4 of our universities stand proudly within the world's top. That is the University of Malaya, which is ranked 58th globally, University